the parable of the weeds, found in Matthew chapter 13, verses 24 through 30. This is where the meditation on these scriptures brought about a revelation by the Holy Spirit for the topic at hand. I'm going to read to you the original text, and then I'm going to read you the same text but reworded with the words given to me by the Holy Spirit. So here is Matthew chapter 13, verses 24 through 30 in its original text, the parable of the weeds. Verse 24. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where then did the weeds come from?" "An enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Do you want us to go and pull them up?" "No," he answered, "because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned, then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn." Now, here are the same verses reworded with the words given by the Holy Spirit. Verse 24, a man went out and sowed his seed in his field. We know by now what that stands for. Here's verse 25. But while life carried on, or while everyone was sleeping, the enemy came. The enemy, of course, is Satan, and brought attacks on the pregnancy and went away. Now, sleeping in the Bible happens to be the opposite of watching and praying. Go and read Matthew chapter 26, verse 40. It's when Jesus was praying and he came back and he found his disciples sleeping. And he was saying, "Why can't you stay awake and watch even for just an hour?" So instead of them praying, they were sleeping. We do not know how much we should be praying in general, how much more for pregnancy. We should be praying constantly for pregnancy so that the enemy does not come and touch. Now, verse 26, when the baby grew, the negative conditions began to appear. Verse 27, the parents and doctors were sadly surprised at seeing what they are seeing. Verse 28, discerning parents will know Satan has attacked. The professionals or even friends will ask the parents, "Do you want us to end this situation that you're going through?" You know what I mean by ending it. Verse 29, no should be the answer, because if you are ending this, you are doing something God does not approve of. Let life live as is. God will give us the wisdom and grace as to how to handle this. The advice given, now that concludes the reading of the verses. The advice given was not to touch the weeds. As a result, by doing so, you will destroy or uproot the wheat. In other words, for discovered negative conditions pertaining, if you decide to end what you have, you are doing wrong. In other words, do not. I have heard many excuses. Most popular are, have a terrible, meaningless, hard life. Why would anyone want to live like that? Let's do it a favor. This is wrong according to the Bible. Now, in regards to another popular topic, I want to add here the issue of seed being planted from someone who you did not want the seed to be planted from. Do you get it? Someone who you didn't want them to plant their seed. Someone who planted the seed by force. Maybe someone who's very close to you planted that seed and you did not want that seed to be planted. If there is true life there, uprooting that seed is still wrong regardless of how that seed was planted. This is why a strong relationship with God is needed for wisdom going ahead with the results of the planted seed. If you say is wrong, if you can say it's wrong and you stand to fight for it, then doing that same act to fix this problem is no excuse. If it's wrong, how is it suddenly okay and right in the instances of what we just described? I'm sorry, it's just not. Again, I will say it again. This is why strong relationship with God is needed, for Him to give you peace and wisdom and understanding as to what to do. Now, this is my last part, and I want you to listen very carefully to these words. I am reading to you from 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12, and it says, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Everyone has a right to choose, but some choices are not beneficial. I'm going to read you another part of the Bible, and it comes from Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. The words written there carry through to this day. Now, here is the verse, and I'm going to add a little words in there. Here's the verse. This day, I, God, call the heavens and the earth as witness against you. Now, this is what I wrote. In other words, this day of decision or choice that you're making of what you are going to do or what you may not want to do, heaven and earth are watching you as a witness, either for or against you. Now, here's the rest of the verse. That I, God, have set before you life and death, a choice. Blessings and curses. Now choose life so that you and your children may live. Guys, make sure you check out the playlist related to this topic because there are several other videos on this topic. Also, for every video that you watch in this playlist, please read the descriptions because there is much important information that I put in there.